what's your strategy for cutting irrelevant ad spend? For example, reducing firm's product isn't likely to convert for, such as adding negatives. So we would start from the bottom as far as impact on orders and work our way up. That would be my recommendation. So the way you would do this, I kind of shared this a little bit in one of the first questions, but I would go to the targeting tab. I would look at lifetime view. I would filter by orders equals 0, and then I would sort by clicks or spend highest to lowest. And what you want to look at is where are all of the targets that have never converted for me. Now, what I'm going to tell you is a very intense strategy. There's a couple ways you can do this. One, you could just like lower bids. The other thing, if you're like really intensely want to go through the account, you can look at everything that has a large cluster of clicks on it and just pause those, just straight up pause them. And then that will clear out a lot of ad waste. The other thing you can do is, of course, go into your search term reports, filter for long date ranges. So I think like 60 days, past 60, potentially 90 days. I'm trying to remember what's available in a search term report. Look at all of that, a lot of clicks, no orders, add those as negative. So you're getting rid of everything that had no impact on orders. Then the next level up from that is, again, looking at I like looking at lifetime date range, and I want to see what has, maybe over 100% ACoS with only 1 to 2 orders and a high volume of clicks, meaning like I got, typically for us, it's about 20 clicks. So that's everything that got a lot of clicks, has a really low conversion rate, and has very low order volume, meaning it's not going to have as much of an impact on my ad sales if I get rid of these, because they only have a couple sales happening for me. So I can get rid of those. Again, our typical rule of thumb for these is pausing anything with really high bids. Not pausing, setting very low bids for these items. Again, high ACoS, low order volume, and then work up from there. Or again, if you need a really extreme version of this, then you can pause it. See what's the other level of doing it. One other thing you can look at, again, if you want to do an account reset, we're talking about being very absolutely must lower spend. Where can we pull out bad stuff from the account? It's not a bad idea to do this periodically as well. We also do this sort of spot checks, intense deep looks at the account. But the other thing you can do is look at everything that has a high bid that has not converted. Potentially even has low impressions. These are technically probably not spending that much, but oftentimes what happens if you have your typical bid optimizations, maybe you have a software that's running, what it will do is it will say, oh, no impressions, increase the bid. Oh, we're not getting any impressions, increase the bid. And what can happen if you're not watching this? Oh goodness, and you don't have any good fail safes in the account in terms of how high the bids could potentially be scaled. I've seen accounts with $20 bids and some crazy stuff. So what we'll do is we'll go through and be okay, what is a reasonable starting bid for this account given the conversion rates, given our target ACoS? What we'll do is we'll basically peruse the account and we'll identify these and then just do a bid reset on them, meaning we're going to lower the bids to whatever we deemed as our reasonable starting point, which is normally on the lower end. And what this will do is, as you prune stuff out of the account, if that kind of frees up additional ad spend in the campaigns, maybe the budget's been running out and you essentially got rid of all those targets, sometimes these untested targets will start popping off and you'll get ad spend showing up all over the place and you're oh my gosh, where the heck did this come from? It came from you not paying attention that you were just continuously increasing things because it was part of a routine. So that's a really good reset. And then the other thing you would want to do is, of course, just identify the things that have really high ACoS and again are not your ranking targets. So you want to be careful. Really, it's trying to optimize things that are underperforming. And then you also want to be really intentional with your ranking or high value targets, meaning the things that are helping to drive that market share, that search rank, or orders for the brand. You just treat those, you recognize that these are things that you're going to kind of insulate from extreme optimizations. And then everything else, you just kind of prune maliciously.